Okay, let's address how we're gonna finish from the mount. This can happen because we are actually mounting somebody and attacking the guillotine, which we're gonna go over that setup later on. But usually it'll happen because we get the high elbow guillotine, which induces our partner to roll, and we end up following them into the mount. So let's start with this angle here so we can roll that way. So if I get my high elbow guillotine, and as I start to go, my partner comes over. So you can see how my heel against my partner's hip is enabling me to follow him. If you're not curling, if you're not doing this hamstring curl, you're not gonna end up on top properly. My elbow's already beat his shoulder, so as I complete the roll, I need to free my hips a little bit. If I stay really tight with my hips, I'm not gonna be able to get my elbow over top of his shoulder. So I need to free my hips a little bit to turn over to this side, and I'm gonna crunch downwards. So when my elbow goes to the mat, I don't want that to be my base. I want my elbow to go to the mat, and then I want my head to go to the mat. When my head goes to the mat, this frees my left elbow up to continue to pull upwards and press against my chest. All right, so let's just go through, just go on bottom. So when we land here, and we manage it, I'm trying to loosen it up a bit, there we go. And we manage to land like this. You'll notice I'm using my post, and my left elbow is gonna be dragging up. As I drag my elbow up and I bring my rib cage down towards the side of my partner's ear and this groove here where his neck meets his trap, as I do that, that's going to tighten everything up. I'm now going to curl my heels in. I'm going to be closing my right elbow, sorry. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to bring my heels in. So I'm curling behind his butt. I'm going to be closing my right elbow, and then I'm going to hip in. All right, so I'm using my head as a post, my elbow is still pulling up, and I'm hipping in, trying to make this space disappear. It takes a little bit of practice to do this, because the tendency people have is to, as they roll over, is they want to tighten up. But as you tighten up and there's rotation, we rotate together, and my partner's usually going to be able to cover my forearm to a little bit, to a certain degree, sorry. If I don't account for that, so let's just go through that rolling motion here. If I don't account for that, it's going to be really tricky to finish. So I'm going to be here as he rolls over. That's the motion I'm talking about. I have to slip forward and then crunch down. If I don't slip forward, my elbow's going to be covered. We're going to go over like troubleshooting and problem solving later on. So if you end up here and you can't finish the high elbow guillotine, there may be other variations, like especially with if you watch some of the footage of me rolling with my brown belts, it's not often that I'm able to finish the high elbow guillotine from the mount because they're so good at covering that elbow, but there are other variations that I can sometimes go to effectively. So we'll go over those in a future video, but just be aware that mount finish requires a hip adjustment, an elbow adjustment, and then a rib cage adjustment, and then you have to hip in pretty hard while closing your elbow to get the best results from the mount.